Hi, everyone. All right, I'm just going to get set up and let's see. Make sure that you comment on any questions that you have. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is getting my Facebook app on my phone so that I can see when you guys are commenting because it's a bit difficult to see it on here. And like if you come on here or if you're watching the replay, put up your favorite emoji just so I can see what your favorite emoji is and see if we have anything in common. I typically like this got little happy face with sunglasses. All right. Again, all I'm doing is getting my Facebook app up. So if you are online or are if you're online or if you're watching, why don't you tell me what website you have? If you're watching on your laptop, let me know what the link is if you want me to check it out later on, or if you have any particular questions about your site, or the one goal that you have for your site and you don't really know how to tackle it, then let me know in the comments. All right. Okay, I've got the app up so that I can see you guys if you comment. And it is 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the replay will be up, so no worries there. If you have to pop out for a bit, let me know. Let me know any questions that you might have. So yeah, I have my wine and I am ready to rock this. So thank you all for coming or for watching the replay. And we're going to talk about how to get your website looking like a rock star in 2019. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Yasmine. I'm the owner of Robles Designs. I have, I think, almost over 8 years of experience creating brands and websites for entrepreneurs. The best projects that I worked on have been for entrepreneurs who were seriously hell-bent on taking over the world. I've worked in the past with large and small businesses, so I know what it's like to be in corporate and I know what it's like to be in a really small business, but my passion is to help the small businesses really flourish and grow with strategic websites. So my motto is that a website can be pretty, but it also gets to be strategic. So that's just a little bit about me, and stay tuned for the end because there's a little special session that I am giving you, and then it'll have the link and everything. So again, this is totally casual. I have my wine here. I'm wearing a hoodie, and feel free to ask any questions. I am watching the comments. So yeah, pop into the comments, say hi, put in your favorite emoji, and let me know what questions you have as we go. Totally casual. I can stop and answer some questions. Hey, Karma. Um, Thanks for watching. Okay, so what we're going to go over today are the 2019 website trends, website and slightly some graphic trends as well that you can apply to your website, on-page strategies for your site. So really, what does a page have to have in order to be strategically, in order to get those site visitors to turn them into leads and fans? And then website must-have. So what should your website have? And again, this might depend a little bit on whether it's an e-commerce site or a service-based site. Let's see, we got a comment. Hey, you're so dope. Okay, those are the best types of comments. Thank you, Karma. Yeah, so we're going to I have a list of must-haves for your site. And if you want to pop into the comments and tell me what sort of site you have, whether you're a service-based business, whether you're selling products or digital products or physical products, let me know and I can kind of maneuver and help you out with that. There's going to be that special offer, and then afterwards we're going to have a little Q&A session if anybody still has questions. All right, so 2019 trends, and I'm going to have tons of examples to show you. So we're going to be popping back and forth from the PDF, from this visual to the actual browser. But Pantone recently came out with their color of the year, and it is, I don't really know how they named it, but it's called Living Coral. So if you go on the Pantone, if you Google Pantone color of the year, you can see a lot of examples for this color. This doesn't necessarily mean that your site needs to have this color there, but it's just something to keep an eye on, seeing what trends are coming up. If you sell products, then let's say you sell cell phones or handbags, you might want to consider popping in a few products that have this color in them. So that's just Pantone color of the year. A few things for graphics. I've been seeing a lot of geometric shapes, so I snagged these off Pinterest, but a lot of geometric shapes are coming up for logos, backgrounds for websites, and actually perfect time for me to show you a few sites that I have gathered. So let's see. So if you're thinking about how you can add geometric shapes to your site without overdoing it, we have a few comments. Okay, so we have somebody with physical products, and then we have a home health daycare. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I'll try to make sure that I'm tailoring the presentation to support you. And if you have any questions that are particular to yours, let me know in the comments, and I can totally help you out. So this is one of the sites that I built, and because it is more of a site that gets to be very stylish, and really out there in your face kind of site, we integrated the geometric shapes in a very subtle way. So as you can see here on your site, you can do this as well. We did a slant versus they usually all have very horizontal ending points to their site, but we did a few slanted pieces. We put borders around around certain sections. We integrated a few smaller geometric shapes. And let's see. Yeah, buttons have this very, this outline with an on hover. Let me make sure that my notifications are off. Oop, there we go. All right, so again, we incorporated it in the background as well. She had this pattern going, and so we incorporated a geometric shape within that. So as you can see, it's just because these trends are coming up, it doesn't mean that you have to overdo it. It doesn't mean that you have to go crazy with it. It just means that you can integrate it if it's right for your brand. You can integrate the geometric shapes, again, with the point here, and then another slight variation. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but there's a slight grayish area here as well. So we integrated a lot of geometric shapes into this website. Let's see, there were a couple of other ones that I found. So I recently got this Target email, and they integrated it just very simple, very, very simple shaping with just lines. So that includes, you could consider this a geometric shape as well, where it's not just the very blank, here's an image and you leave it there. It's more of the, there's a little bit of more dynamic fluidity to it, but still with those lines, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't make sense, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so this is a great example of geometric shapes. Now going back to the presentation, you can do this with circles, you can do this with hexagons, octagons, anything like that. I recently was working on a logo for a person, and they wanted a diamond shape in their brand. So we went through, and it got to be modern as well as you know, still very, very interesting. So we actually we're in the process of going through and making it into a geometric shape like this with a couple of different color tones to really make it look as if it's sparkly, without it being too you could say cheesy. So definitely looking at geometric shapes and how you can incorporate that into your brand, if appropriate. If your brand has not been created, you can see how it can be incorporated um, with the newness as you're creating it. All right, so a few other things that you might want to consider for trends are product-friendly videos, or just videos in general. So I have here this one again. Let me see if I can find it here. So they incorporated a video within their landing page. So this is what a landing page would be on your site. They just named it mid-century modern decor. You can do this with pretty much anything, whether it's one of your services, whether it is a landing page for your freebie, so to capture emails. And or if you, I think, Kamali, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but you said you sell physical products. This would be a great page if it's a trend that's going on. For example, maybe with that living coral, here, you can see it here, with Pantone. So if you're starting to sell products that are this collection, with a collection of colors, what you can do is create a landing page that has, those products featured on there. And then you can create a video pertaining to the products, similar to what they did here, which it's a nice casual video, but it really focuses on the product, so that it kind of gives people ideas of how those products could live within their home, and it entices them to watch it. And again, you can create the video, put it on this landing page, and then reuse the video for your marketing, put it on YouTube for marketing, anything like that. So you can reuse that content. But video is really, really big on websites. Now, one thing that I would ask you to keep in mind is that it's better to embed a video. So put it on YouTube, put it on Vimeo, anything like that, and then take that embed code and place it on your site. You rarely really want to place a video directly, like upload it onto your site and then show it, because depending on the browser that people are using, then it could have odd blips in it. Their browser might be, or they could be like me and have a million tabs open. And the video might not display as easily. It'll also bog down your site. So embed the video instead, and then include it on your landing pages. So something similar like this. Again, you can see that they're giving you ideas of how things will work within a home, giving you a video, and then giving you those categories to shop. So that's really a really nice way of creating a landing page for products. So think about how you can incorporate video. Videos can be a welcome video on the homepage. It can also be on the about page, so people get to know you a little bit better. Just think of how you can incorporate it. Video is really big. And actually, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, the next in-person wine and websites is all about DIY video marketing, and that you can find that on Eventbrite, and I'll post a link in the Facebook group every so often as well. So, and I will be recording it. So let me know if you have questions about that, but we will be going over that. So product-friendly videos, or just videos in general, are great to have on your site. Thumb-friendly mobile design. This is just, if you go on your phone, I can't really show it to you here, but if you go on your phone and you go on your website, is it easy for your thumb, your big fat thumb, to go through the site and click on things? If it's hard for you to click on links, then it's got to be hard for your clients as well. So making sure that your mobile design is really easy to use, that links, things are not too small, that people are not having to zoom in order to click on a link. I recently went on a church site because I was looking for how to, their schedule. And it was very difficult. First of all, it wasn't very mobile friendly, but the parts that were supposed to be mobile friendly, the links were still too small, and my fingers were too big to click on just one link. So my phone was going crazy. So just keep that in mind. Check your site on your phone. And then content. What I've been seeing is that content is written as a story. It is told as a story. Again, this goes back to also using video. So you can see here the story. I mean, this is Target, but the story here can be, it's a story about your how this would function within your home. And in this video, it tells you a story of how you can incorporate it with a few products, how you can make your home look just like these amazing pieces. And yeah, so make it into a story. Let's see, I don't have any other example for story, but just think of it as walk somebody through, not just like, oh, buy from me, but it's more of, this is the benefit that you get from buying from me. This is who I am. This is who what we stand for kind of website. So that's been trending. So those are a few trends. If I'm going too fast, let me know. I want to make sure I have the time for questions, and I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time as well. All right, so on page strategy, I'm going to go through a few of these keys, but keep in mind that you need at least one call to action. I keep seeing these sites where I don't know if people are too, if you're shy, and then on your site, you're also shy where you don't really want to ask for the sale. I know in person, I have a difficult time asking for the sale. So it's something I get to work on with my business coach. But on a website, you have to have at least one call to action on each page, at least one. And if your site is if your page is very tall, then you get to have more than one. Headlines are needed to break up the text. An obvious brand look. So if I go on your site and I immediately know this is a feminine site and they're geared towards women that are in their 20s, or is this a very corporate site? They look like a law firm. What is that brand, and is it obvious as soon as you land on the site? And then having great images, but please make sure that it's quality over quantity. You can have 30 amazing pictures. You can have pictures taken every day, but if they're not of great quality, they're kind of useless. So making sure that you have really great shots, invest in a few great headshots, a few great shots for your website, and that'll take it to that next level. If you're doing stock photos, just buy like three at a time. Just start with 3. Make sure that it's really matches your brand and that they're really high quality. So let's look at some examples. Let's see here. So we're just going to go through a few sites. So here with this client, her main goal was to show that she is an expert in her field. She looks for things that are, she wants to be seen as the expert. She wants people to look at her and say, I want her to speak at my conference or whatever it may be. So the very first thing is she's being branded. So we put her name up front and center, and then what she does, speaker and evolutionary social scientist. So that is right there. You land on the site and you know exactly who she is, her name, and what she does. Then as you go down, we have the featured in section, which again, we're giving social proof. So social proof is something that is also crucial to have on your site, whether you're selling products or whether the products are digital or physical, whether you are selling a service. Do you have any social proof? If you don't, that is okay. You can always enter articles to be featured in somewhere, or you can say you're part of, local groups A, B, and C. You can do that, but or a testimonial, something that gives social proof that you are real, that you're legitimate, that you're not just going to be a fly-by-night business. Have that somewhere in that secondary section of the site. And then we added see all featured articles because she has been featured in many places. We are sending people to the media page here. So that's the first call to action. Again, we're telling people who she is, what she does, and that yes, she is amazing, and here is stuff to back it up. We have a little about section, which is great on the home page because, again, there's a CTA to their actual about page. And again, you're kind of reinforcing that, hey, I'm a real person. This is who I am. And if you have a product-based business, you still want to give a little bit of personality in there, especially if you're a small e-commerce business. I don't think Target really needs an about section on their homepage, but we can dissect their page as well if it would help you. Let me know in the comments if that would support. But if you're a very small page, actually, I can go through. Savage Glow is one of my favorites. I don't think she has an about, but we can also dissect how she does her site, which I love her copy. But so you can see the images, the branding, and all of that. Again, if you have a product, if you're a product-based business, you can maybe not talk about yourself, but what you can do is you can talk about your product. Maybe it's all natural. It's the type of ingredients you use, anything like that. Again, more social proof here. And then a final call to action. So you don't want people to go all the way down and then not have a call to action, and make it a call to action that will benefit you. So want to find out more about what I do, contact. That is a benefit to her so that she can get those emails in. So as a landing page, this is a client of mine. I think she's also in the group, and she is my trainer. So if you guys are looking for somebody to kick your butt and kick your butt into shape, then contact her. She's in our group. But so a landing page gets to be a bit simpler, but it still has some of those same elements. So again, immediately when you land on here, you know it's feminine. There's the marble, the stone in the back, the script SM, but you know it's still got a little bit of modern in it. The Simone McKenna Fitness is modern fonts. You got very simple anchor links, which lead down here. Again, you've got that social proof here. You've got a little bit about the company, so her mission. You've got about her. So she is branding herself. So of course, we're going to have images of her and talk about what her journey has been. And then towards the bottom, we have 2 call to actions, either to join her team or to join her in getting fit. And then the contact, because again, we need a final call to action for the user who has scrolled all the way down. If the user has scrolled all the way down, they're obviously interested. So give them a contact page, give them a contact form, give them, let them hop onto your email list, something like that. Kara's site is a bit simple, a cleaner site, but again, we give information on what she does, who she is, social proof, services, and view all services. So because this page is really short, they can get to services here, or they can scroll a little bit and get to services here. So we cap it. Like you have the top, and you have the bottom, and then you have the links again here, which is great because that really reinforces them to click into the services and to eventually contact her for support. Let's see. Same thing here. We can dissect this one as well. A call to action, social proof that she's been featured, services, more social proof, so like a portfolio, more social proof, so testimonials, a little bit about showing that she knows her stuff, so dressing for your body type, call to action. This is a really nice way of kind of breaking content up, is just putting in some kind of favorite quote, and then finally getting in touch. So they've scrolled all the way through the site, they want to get in touch with you, and they have that ability immediately. For those that have a product-based business, let's go through here. Disclaimer, I did not create the site. I just really like it. I like her copy a lot. All right, so we have the hero image with a a call to action. We have a little bit about new arrivals. So she's product based and she's pushing the products to the top. That's good. She has a call to action for the email list. She talks a little bit about what she's working on. So again, this would be like the about section. This, I'm assuming, goes to different links. Let's see. I'm assuming these are collections. Yeah, these look like collections. And so again, more of the products. This is kind of telling us a little bit about the products, AHA skincare routine. So it's another way of her to sell us on it with some graphics, call to action, and then her featured item, again, view product, call to action, Instagram, so an Instagram feed, and then a little end cap here. What I would actually do here is maybe add another call to action to shop, although they do have it here. Some kind of little end cap, or for email list, that would be great here, or even below this here. You know, we love y'all for real. So then add a little form here for an email list. That'd be a really nice end cap in order to get people's email addresses. So that's pretty much the must-haves for a page. So make sure you have at least one call to action. Headlines, you use them to break things up. If you want to go, we can go through here. So Happy New Year is a headline, new arrivals, power to the P, with Simone's site, client love is a headline, about Simone. So if you're, think of it, if I'm scrolling through the site this fast, what is it that you read? That is what has to be a headline. Text, this is as long, really as long as a paragraph should be. And any longer than this, it gets hard to read. Also, keep text, don't let it go edge to edge. Make sure it's no wider than this to keep it easy to read. Will increasing the dimensions of a featured image sharpen the resolution? Hi, James. No, it will not. So what happens is if your picture is 200 by 200 pixels, and then whether you're using Photoshop or Canva or anything like that, and you increase it to, let's say, 1,000 by 1,000, that picture is just going to get blurry. There's no real good way of actually increasing the dimensions without decreasing the quality of an image. And it's tricky on digital. The only way that might be okay is if you still have to start off with a pretty high resolution image, but if you're doing, so for example, one of those like something that would be shown on a signage or like a billboard or something, if you were to stand really right next to a billboard, sometimes it's kind of blurry or pixelated, and that's okay because you're seeing it from far away, so you're not seeing that it's blurry. But anything else that people can zoom into, or not zoom into, but that they can get closer to the screen, or that will be, so for example, printed or anything like that, it needs to be, you can't really increase the dimensions without decreasing the quality. Does that help? Let me know if that helps. The best thing that you can do is download a really large image. So if you're going to get a photographer or anything like that, or if you're going to download some stock images, make sure that they are the biggest that you would ever really need them for digital. For print, it's another story, but for digital, I would say you don't really need anything more than 2,400 pixels wide by however proportion tall that is. And that is because you might want to use it as a full background like this here. Or like we did with her here. So you don't want it to, you don't need, if you're going to do a full width from one end to the other end, then that's about how big you'd want it. If you're just going to be using it, such as here, then you can make it slightly smaller, but just knowing that this image here will not be able to replace this image here. It'll just get extremely blurry. Let me know if that helps. Let's see, an obvious brand look. So that comes from paying close attention to, oops, that comes from paying close attention to your colors, and the fonts that you're using. Let's see here. So a lot of these are more modern, but so this is a sans serif font, and then a little bit of script to kind of jazz it up a little bit. She's got very modern, clean fonts as well. Same thing. We've got a serif font here. So this would be a serif font. So serif font for her headlines, and then a very modern sans serif font for her body copy. Let's look at her. She's got a very modern font as well. Serif font balanced with the sans serif font. I don't have anything really masculine, but let's look at Target. So they just have a bold font here. Let's see what this is. I think this is another one I wanted to show you for another example for something else. But again, it's their fonts are very bold, somewhat masculine, you could say. So just making sure that when you look at your brand, that it's very obvious. Is it geared towards women? Is it geared towards men? Is it just somewhere in between? And is that okay with you? So if you are targeting women age 20, what are they into? And does your brand look like that? If you're targeting corporate clients, then does your brand look like the type of brand they would want to hire? Great images, again, quality versus quantity. So website must-haves. All right, so site pages that you must have on your site. Hey, Lydia, thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. Site pages that you must have on your website. Make sure you have a contact page. I've been on some sites where yes, they have their contact information all the way at the bottom on the footer, or they are a multi-page site, but the only places that they have their contact information is on the home page. Sometimes even towards the bottom of the homepage. That is just not good. You have to have, whether you have a blog or whether you have a service-based or a product-based website, you need to have a contact page. An about page is extremely important for any sort of site. And then legal pages, so privacy policy, disclaimer, terms and conditions, anything like that. You need to have those pages created and linked within the footer so that they show up on every single page of your site. So let's look at some of these again. So for example, here we have the contact page. We called it Connect. And you can see here that we have the form. We did integrate some social media. We have the mailing address, and then we also have contact information at the bottom here. And you can also get to the contact page here. So that's hers. She's not collecting emails or anything like that, but she still can use that contact form. Let's see. I don't believe so. Her contact is a bit different, but just having a contact page easy to find is, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Let's look at Target. I know that some of us have a product-based business. So usually with e-commerce businesses, their contact and about sections are all the way at the bottom. Hopefully Target, well, they're showing me all their products. Let's see. Okay, so they're usually, so their help, so here's usually where they have, so shipping and delivery is a must-have if you have a product-based business. If you sell clothing, you can separate out the size charts. That is a must-have. So they have a lot. So affiliates, corporate responsibility, they have all their stuff here. Find a store. So yeah, so you can see what they have here. they pretty much cover emails, careers, advertise with us. They're covering themselves on a few things as well. Um, so just making sure that you are legally covered will be great, so that you are not. I want to check if so they don't have it here, but I would suggest having a privacy policy. So I have mine towards the bottom. Let me know if you guys have any questions at all. So when I mean that it should be linked in the footer, so I have privacy policy terms and conditions. You can also take it a step further and write in here, which I'm actually planning on doing, a disclaimer. Especially if you're giving some sort of advice, I would say definitely cover yourself and say, hey, this is just advice. It's not, if something goes wrong, if you take this advice, it's not on me, kind of thing. So this is usually where those should live. All right, let's see. Oops, there we go. So those are site pages. Home pages you can have on your site, but it just depends on your website. So if you have a blog and your blog is your home page, so that blog feed, that could be a home page. If you're a service-based business, you're maybe your services, kind of like some of the examples that we've gone over, your about section, all of that can go on your home page. But at least if you have your contact about and all these legally stuff, then you're good. So content, make sure that you are linking to yourself throughout your site. Let's say that on your homepage, you link to your most recent blog article, and then from one blog article, you link to the part two. For SEO purposes, that really looks great, as well as it really helps the reader out. So let's say that you had part one, part two, and part three of blog articles, but you didn't actually link to each other. You're making it harder on the reader and the site visitor to find those and to really interact with your articles and learn more. Just make it as easy as possible. So, and then when you have part one come out and then part two comes out, go back to part one, edit it, and just say towards the bottom, put in to see part two, click here. It just helps everything run smoothly for the site visitor. Short paragraphs of text, make sure your paragraphs are not too long. That's just for ease of reading. Subheadlines, make sure that although you have headlines, that you also make certain things bold, have subheadlines. So if your big headline is all about, let's say, social reform, then your subheadlines would be different categories within that, and then your paragraphs would be short paragraphs within that. And then just to break it up a little bit, you would do bullet points for certain things. All right, James, is there a generic privacy policy? So there is, and you can, I know I have some clients that have started off with generic ones. You might want to check out what other people in your industry have, or other people that you would know that they have something something good on their site, that they didn't just kind of pull it out of thin air. And then you could tweak it. I would recommend actually going somewhere and getting that privacy policy made for you. Let's see, I know that I forget her name, but there is a downloadable, let me see if I can find, here we go. So this person, I recently went to one of her talks by my website studio crush, business crush, you could say, the Wonder Jam. So they're like my business crush. But this woman had an awesome talk on getting legal. So you can look at what she has available as a download. I've kind of quickly gone through her site. I know I'm on her email list, but I just haven't downloaded anything. But you can check it out. I think my understanding is that it's kind of like a course based where, and then you plug and play. So she's got a couple of different ones that you can look at. There's this one, privacy policy, website disclaimer, website terms and conditions, where you can get them just on their own. So you might want to check that out to see if that helps you. If not, I mean, I would try and get something that's, you know, for sure made for you. But if that is a bit out of your budget, then you can look at something like templates, and then I would kind of stay away from copying, but you do you. You do what you have to do. Um, all right. So let's see, subheadlines. Okay, great. So integrations. This is actually pretty cool. So these are items that you, depending on your website, that you should have. If you're service based, so if you're offering either, I think somebody said that they have, I think it was Karma. She mentioned that she had a home health daycare. So you might be doing, let's say, one-on-one, maybe one-on-one consultations or some kind of discovery call or something to see if they're a right fit or to sell them on your service. Whatever you want to call it, you might need an appointment booking system. Now, whether or not it's actually on your site, that's up to you, but it's really great to have people really uh, book through that calendar, because it's easier for you. You don't have to go back and forth. Now, if you integrate it on your site, you can have it as a link or you can embed it. Just get the little embed code. I use Calendly on mine. I can show you what it looks like on the browser. So this is what mine looks like, and then I can embed this within my site, and people just go through and book something, book an appointment. So you can do that. So it's a really, really great system to have. So it's similar to, and you can also have an event booking system. So if you do a lot of events, you can have something on there. Squarespace, they have their event calendar, but you should be able to integrate. So if you do a lot of Eventbrite, you should be able, there's a plugin that you can do for WordPress, you can use for WordPress that will sync up and then show all of your events there. Uh, Email capture, please make sure that you're capturing people's emails. If you have a blog or a service-based business or something, make sure that you have a form somewhere where you're capturing people's emails, because then you can market to them later on. And speaking of email capture, there is also something you might want to consider, is either a chat feature on your site or something like this that hovers over, um, and it's just, mine is just a contact form, but it's great because it's there. So if I scroll or go to another page, it'll be there. There's also a chat feature that I tested out, and hold on one minute. I think there's a comment coming through. Just 1 second. I think there's. Okay, cool. So there was just somebody trying to get through into the group. All right, so chat feature. You can, if you're going to be available, you know the hours that you're available to chat with people. There are little on hover things, and there's free trials that I've tested out here, and it's great. You can do an automated message that pops up, and it can be something like, "What sort of help do you need?" And then people will be able to chat with you on your site. So, hi, Lorraine. So, which is really, really great. Um, Now you have to make sure that you're actually going to be available at that time or be able to respond. So for example, if you know for sure from noon to 5, you are available to respond, make sure you're either on your phone or responding. I don't know, just be available, because it'll be odd for them to be waiting for them to be responded to, and then you don't respond. It's just odd. So, but I've tested it. I think the one I tested was Drift, and that worked out really, really great. So let's see. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and welcome Lorraine. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so let's go back, and the replay will be available. So, okay, email capture. Make sure you capture emails. Make sure you have some kind of contact form. Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a must-have, whether or not you have an event booking system or appointment booking system. I should have put this right at the top. Google Analytics is extremely important to be integrated onto your site. And with the way you can just do that is all you need to do is go onto your site, depending whether you have Squarespace or whatever platform you have. There's different places that you can put it in. So if you are having a hard time knowing where to stick the information, let me know and I can support you. But make sure that you create a Google Analytics account. I think you only need a Gmail account and it's free. And then it'll walk you through the steps on how to claim your site. And then it'll give you a kind of like a website ID, which is a couple of numbers and I believe letters. And then so copy that, keep that on file. And then there's a little, it's like a script or it's like a little piece of code. You can keep that on file as well, so you don't have to figure out where to find it later on. And then copy and paste that into your site. Some themes on WordPress or some sites, they just require the code. Others want the little ID number. It just depends on how they're working with it. But having that information is extremely, extremely important for your site and is definitely one of the integrations that you must have. It's just, if you want to know, you need to know who is coming to your site, when they're coming, if your marketing efforts are working or not, whether you're a product-based business or a service-based business, you need to have that the Google Analytics installed. Facebook Pixel Tracker, that's pretty cool, especially if you're going to be doing anything like any sort of Facebook ads. It's just great to have that already installed. Meta tags and descriptions, you can think of this as the sign, like if the elevator pitch for your website. Tell me what it is, tell me what you're doing, tell me why you're doing it, and who you're doing it for. It's kind of like your meta tag description. So and it helps with ranking. It just helps the internet know what you're doing. And there's, again, with that, there's different places where you can stick that information depending on the platform you're using and depending on the theme that you're using. So if I'm using WordPress and you're using WordPress, it could still be the place that you would insert that information it could be different. So if you need help with that, let me know. But definitely having that installed is great. So, okay, that's it. So if you're having trouble DIYing your site, I am offering free strategy sessions. My calendar is open for a while. So you go on calendly.com/Robles Designs and you'll find the dates that are open. Hop on a date and we can talk through your site. Now, I'm going to go through a few Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, that would be perfect. I know that, let's see, Karma has a service-based business. I know that James has a blog. There's a physical products business as well. Lorraine, what sort of site do you currently have that can help me? And then if you guys have any questions pertaining to your website or to trends coming up, let me know. Also type in the comments if your site is still under construction or if it's been launched already. And if it's launched, share it with us. Type in the link to your site so that we can all check it out. All right, James, I'm going to create a featured image with Canva and then use it as a featured image. That's perfect. Yeah, so if I do have a Canva course, but if you haven't tried Canva, it's a must. It's just great for a lot of different things. It kind of eliminates the need for Photoshop for the regular person. Like you don't need that stuff anymore. Let's see here. So you can see that I have a lot of my designs, so a lot of my client Facebook covers. their templates for their social media stuff. So I create a lot of stuff here, but the great thing is that you can use custom dimensions here, and it'll walk you through how to create a featured image on Canva. So that's really, really good to have. Lorraine, you have a candle company. Oh, that's awesome, Lorraine. Pearls and Lace Candle Boutique. Lorraine, are we allowed to go see it? Let me know, and then I can, let me know if you want feedback, or if where we shouldn't look at it, or if you want me to bring it up on the screen. If anybody else wants me to bring up their site on the screen, we do have a few minutes left. So I would love to take a look at what you guys have. So yeah, let me know. Yeah, so Canva is really great. I use it a lot for things that don't require heavy duty Photoshop work. So it's really good. Let's see. All right. Sure, feedback is cool, needs work. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Pearls and lace candle. How did you get into candles? That is really cool. My daughter has been wanting to make candles, but I have no idea where to even start. So, yeah. Okay, I love this that you have a pop-up. Now, pop-ups might be annoying, but they convert. I find them annoying, but it's just every time we've added one, it's shown to convert so much better. So I'm glad you have one. Um, Candles for every season, reason for any home. Great. So you're giving me an incentive. One thing that I would um, maybe tweak, or I don't know if your site has the capability of A/B testing, which we can go into that in another webinar, or you can just kind of reverse this and see how it goes if it increases people signing up. But making the 15% off bigger and bolder, maybe up here, and then towards the bottom saying that you're joining the Pearls and Lace Candle Club. Because as somebody who's never been on your site, it might be, for me, it's like, well, what's the benefit of being in this club? I'm already part of so many other clubs where I get coupons. What's the like, what do I get out of giving you my email address? So that 15% off my first order might be more enticing than me joining the club, especially because you've only got really like 2-3 seconds before they hit this exit button. So make sure that the 15% off coupon is right at the top. And then you might, I'm not a wordsmith or anything, but you might not need coupon here because it's kind of a given. So 15% off your first order, maybe up here as a headline, and then the rest of it's cool. So there you go. I like that you have nice images up here. I don't know if your website will allow, but try to stay away from too many, and I don't think you have too many, but too many images with text over them. Some themes, unfortunately, don't allow you, or themes or platforms or whatever, they don't allow you to have live text. And by that, I mean, let's go to Kara's homepage. So this is text I can highlight and copy and paste. It's live text and Google can read it and they know what it's about. So, but this is just an image, or at least that's what it looks like. So kind of avoiding too much of that is great for a site. And then if you do have some text on it, making sure that your alt and title tags are being placed on that so that the Google bots can know what your image is about. All right, about us. Ooh, right, about us page. The beginning. Okay, cool. What's in the name? Process, mission. Okay, this is awesome. I might just make the text either centered or make these here larger, and then yeah, I mean that would be it. This is fine. Let's see, your images maybe could be a bit bigger, give me a little bit more of that eye candy. And then that would be awesome. Let's see. Let's go to home. Our mission. Okay, see, this is great. So you have your image, you have your nice big call out here. Then your mission, so you're kind of telling me a little bit about you. Then immediately go into products. That's great. Let's see here. And then get connected. This is really great. I would here, instead of saying just get connected, give me that pop-up headline again of the 15% off. So because yeah, I can get connected, but what's in it for me kind of thing. So you can say get 15% off your first order, sign up today. And then I'll be more enticed to actually sign up. Let's see here. So for an e-commerce site, I would suggest, I know you have shop here, but I would suggest, let's see, you have candles, wax melts, travel candles, tools and accessories. Okay, and then sale. I would take candle care and maybe, let's see, FAQs. So kind of consolidate these. There's quite a few here. So maybe consolidating some of these and then making sure that that some of these are calling out the categories. So for example, let's hope that Savage Glow has it. So she doesn't have it. Let's look at a big name. Actually, let's look at one of your competitors, Bath and Body Works. So what I mean by pulling out the categories, and a lot of small businesses, I don't know why they just have the shop on there when they should really have so for example, category, body care, hand soaps, and home fragrances. They have gifts and semi-annual. So these are their main stuff. And then obviously body care is their number one because it's right here on this side. So for you, I would say if these candles are your bread and butter, I would put whatever that category is, Luxe candles, wax melts, travel candles, tools and accessories, and then sale. And then you can go into the rest of the stuff like the guide, the candle care, about us page, and all of that information. Okay, not sure how to do the text. Yeah, so the live text thing, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it really depends on the platform that you're using and then the theme that you're using. Some of them don't really give you the opportunity to do it. I see that you're on Shopify, but some of the themes, they just kind of say, here, upload an image, but they don't allow you to put text over the image very easily. So usually that depends on the theme. So I can actually, if you sign up for a call, we can totally go through it and check. That's no worries about that. So just sign up for a strategy session, and we'll totally dig in deep into that. But does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense about the categories, because if let's say I land on your homepage and immediately I see this awesome picture and then I see shop, but what if I'm looking for this candle melt? I have to go click onto shop and then find candle melts and then all scented wax candles. And then, so I've just clicked through a couple times. And what you want to do is you want to minimize the amount of time that people are clicking. So for example, you go on Bath and Body Works, you're like, okay, I want lotions. So body care, and then you find moisturizer body lotion. There you go. So it's less clicks. Or I want candles, home fragrance. So it's, yeah, definitely less clicks, making sure that that you're avoiding people to spending their time on clicking through their site versus putting things into your cart. Other than that, everything looks really cool. Let's see. A big thing right now that's trending on sites, let's see if they have it, because it has been trending quite a bit, is having images or product images with the product actually in use. Not here. Usually these are, usually the main image is not in use, but I don't know, with candles. I've seen it with lingerie. I'm not going to bring up a lingerie website, but you can look it up. When I used to work at La Senza, the on model images worked a lot better versus just having it on a mannequin, or like floating in a white background. So on model worked really, really well. And then before I left, we started shifting to having it almost like not in use, but having it on model, but more natural versus just like a weird model being cut off like on her head or something. Um, so maybe one of the images, you have a frosted cranberry, and then the next image that you can zoom into would be it's still focused on the candle, but it could be like on a tabletop or something. Just because people want to see it, it helps them visualize it in their site. I mean, sorry, in their home. Other than that, it's good. Try to add a little bit more text. Describe the fragrance. Yeah, describe the fragrance. So what does this smell? It's a wonderful aroma, but that can be for anything. So let me know. They might not have it here. Let's see. Top with a decorative lid. This is a fruity candle. So I know it's a fruity scent. And winter sweetness. So look at how they're using their text. And another one who has great copy on their site is Savage Glow, which she is also local. I don't know if you're local, Lorraine, to Columbus, Ohio, but this girl is also local. Her text is really very keyed into her target market. So she uses hashtags in there, power of the P, disclaimer, this does not include ex-boyfriends and 9-to-5 jobs, stuff like that, where you can add to your text. It takes time, but you can add it to your text to make it a bit more lively. Let's see, where are you? Okay. Yeah, but pretty much, I mean, your site's pretty good. Write a review, that's great. Yeah, I mean, your site is pretty decent. Let's look at candle care. So this is good. This actually is a really good idea that you'd had, because this adds tech content. It's great to have added written content for Google. You're using the word candle, and it just flows naturally. It's not like you're forcing the keywords. Didn't think about those hashtags. Yeah, the hashtags are, I mean, it depends on your target market, but the hashtags are all the rage. James, thank you. See you next month for the video presentation. Yeah, see you next month, James. Yeah, we are getting close to the end. Yeah, we are past time a little bit. So Lorraine, let me know if you have any questions. And again, guys, if you want to sign up for a strategy session, just go to calendly.com/Robles Designs, and we'll just chat about your site. And if you don't have a website, no problem. You'll get pointers on how to get started. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any follow-up questions. Send me a private message, hit me up on the Calendly link. And yeah, thanks so much, Lauren. And I hope to see you guys next month for the virtual. And then if you're in Columbus, make sure that you head over to Eventbrite, search Wine and Websites. I'll also post the events here about DIY video marketing. And as I mentioned, it's really important for your site to have video. So my friend Beth is going to be talking to us about how to get started with that. So have a great night, everyone, and cheers to Wine and Websites.